I'm here to defend Ron Paul this evening and to explain why I believe that he is the most biblically qualified candidate running for office. I will readily admit that Ron Paul is imperfect. I think that he needs both a better understanding of biblical law as well as a deeper commitment to it. I'm afraid that unfortunately he's been influenced in some areas largely by the writings of libertarian philosophers instead of by Scripture.
Libertarian Party is based on a firm principle of non-aggression. We all take a pledge when we join the party that we will never initiate force against somebody else.
One other individual at the head table. Nobody needs to have much of an introduction. A very special person, somebody who's been very important to me over the years in my studying and understanding of the libertarian philosophy, and in particular the libertarian free market message. A recent article in the Washington Times labeled him as the libertarian guru, Murray Rothbard.
But I don't like the use of force. I like volunteerism. That's what a free society is supposed to be all about.
Welcome back to Adam versus the Man. I'm very excited to be joined today at the rotunda of the Cannon House office building with none other than Congressman Dr. Ron Paul. Congressman, thank you so much for sitting down with us this morning.
Good to be with you.
So you've described yourself as a voluntarist. Can you tell us what that means for the big picture and what your ideal society would be as a voluntarist?
Voluntary means no coercion. So if you want to change people's habits or change the world, you should do it by setting examples and trying to persuade people to do it. You can use force only when somebody uses force against you. So voluntary use of information and persuading people, I think, is the best way to go, and no matter what kind of problem you're looking at.
Harm, like the federal government and you know, coercion and all this stuff, using force, and you emphasize individual responsibility and freedom. So, and I know you stand for the Constitution, but what do you say to people who advocate for self-government rather than a return to the Constitution, just like
great. I'm fine. I think that's really what my goal is.
There is a difference between libertarianism and libertinism. Libertinism is the idea that we can do whatever we want. First of all, I want to say that I would agree with Mr. Brown that the idea that man should be free to do whatever he wants as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else is a doctrine straight from the pit of hell. It is evil, it is wicked, and it should be opposed.
But this is what our government's all about. This is what, when Congress does get around to passing laws, they're dictatorial too. Everybody's telling the people what to do. The whole process for many, many decades, this is what the whole taxing system is about. Dictating and dictatorial and telling people what to do with their lives. And how would
you had a perfectly ideal world and you had the liberties passed on back to the individual, it would be self-government. That would be the ultimate task, as long as we accept one principle, that we don't force other people to try to live the way we want to live.
The one interesting thing about liberty, if you have a truly free society, that you would be very tolerant of other people, whether it's their lifestyles or whatever they do, because if they don't hurt you, just leave them alone. And that is, you know, even in an economic sense, it's okay. So if we have a free society and a group of people want to get together and they want to have a socialist community and share the wealth and work together and have joint ownership of property, let them do it. It's all up to them.
So if you try to improve relationships by forcing and telling people what they can do, and you ignore and undermine the principles of liberty, then the government can come into our bedrooms, and that's exactly what has happened.
Same way in personal liberties. We apply this principle in the area of personal liberties, and although I might want you and think you should lead a certain lifestyle because I think it's good and right and moral, I have no right to tell you what to do. You know, if you want to live a certain way, I disagree. That's tough. You know, that's your choosing. That's the individual's choice, as long as you don't hurt somebody else. So the person has the right to his own life and his liberty, his own lifestyle, with one special rule, that your lifestyle, the individual's lifestyle, can't hurt somebody else. So if you do things that I disapprove of, I, as a libertarian, am tolerant, and I accept that up until the point of no injury to anybody else.
However, I do think that he draws the wrong conclusion in stating that Ron Paul is a libertarian. Fully.